Alright, so this video is pretty grainy. Let me try to, I'm gonna take a couple steps back. Oh, there we go. Perfect. This video is pretty grainy, like from my end, but like if you take a closer look, let me zoom in just a little bit. Let me zoom in all the way. That right there is the moon. And like this right here is the building, the top of the building. This right here is the top of the building. This right here is the top of the building. And that right there is the moon. Do you see the moon? That right there is the moon. That right there is the moon. You see? Let me scratch my nose. Let me point. So that right there is the moon. That right there is the moon. Do you see this right there? Let me zoom in just a little bit outward. That right there, let me control the video. That right there is the moon. That right there is the moon, and that right there is some sort of UFO or unidentified flying object. There are a couple possibilities as far as what that is. Like the only possibilities that thing could possibly be is another planet, another planet, particularly Venus, a large star, or something else. You can't. Well, actually, look at the size comparison. Look at the size comparison. Look at the size comparison between the two objects. You see that right there? That right there to my right is the moon. So on the right hand side is the moon. Let me center it. To the right is the moon. To the right hand side is the moon. To the left hand side is way too big to be Venus. There is no way. There is no way that thing could possibly be Venus. There is no way that thing could possibly be Venus, let alone any other particular planet. It's also not a star either as well. That thing is way too big or way too large to possibly be a star. That is not a star. The closest thing that could possibly be is another planet, particularly Venus. And like, I don't want to be a science nerd because like if you do research on the internet, if you do research or if you study on the internet, you could find the internet or Google or some sort of scientific book can give you explanations as far as why Venus is like that large and it gives off that much light. But like, that is way too big to be Venus. That is not Venus. That right there, let me put it back in the thing. That right there is too large to be Venus. That right there is way too large. That right there is way too large to possibly be Venus. That is not Venus. That right, so like this right here, let me back up just a little bit. This is a building. This right here is a building. This right here is the building. This right here, there's my feet, my socks. There's my shoes, my socks, my feet, my legs, whatever. The road, the sidewalk, the pavement, an AC unit, a building, the top of the building. Let me normal view. So take a look over here. It's just normal road, grass, concrete, asphalt, cement, whatever. A street, a light pole, so like a telephone pole, a light pole or whatever. An alleyway. This right here is the top of the building. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit more. Well, actually, no, all the way back. So this right here, so all the way up. Let me actually restart. There's my feet, my shoes, socks, whatever. Pointing all the way up. That right there is the moon. I repeat, that right there is the moon. That right there is the moon. That is the moon right there. That right there is the moon. That is the moon. That right there is the moon. That is the moon. And to the right is some sort of unidentified, is some sort of, and to the right of it, and to the right of it, and to the right of it, and to the right of it is some sort of unidentified flying object. That, I repeat, to the right-hand side, that is the moon, and to the left, that is some sort of UFO or unidentified flying object. That has to be some sort of aircraft. That has got to be some sort of aircraft. That has got to be some sort of aircraft. Like the way it, like here, I'll zoom in on the aircraft or the UFO. That right there is too large. That right there is too large. That right there is both too large. That right there is both too large. It is both too large to be a planet or a star, and it is emitting off way too much light. That right there is too large to be a star. It is too large to be a star. It is too large to be Venus, and it is way too bright to be some sort of weird thing or whatever. Can you see it glow? Is it glowing? The video is grainy. The video is grainy, so my apologies, but like, yeah, just look at it. That's the moon, that's the top of the building, and that's the UFO, the unidentified flying object. That is the moon. That right there is the moon. 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi. That right there is the moon. That right there is the moon. And that right there is some sort of unidentified flying object. That is some sort of unidentified flying object. That is some sort of unidentified flying object or UFO. That has got to be some sort of aircraft. I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist. I repeat, I am not a huge conspiracy theorist or whatnot. Like, what I mean by that is that I don't think it's some sort of alien spaceship. That right there is like over 99% chance not an alien spaceship. It's got to be some sort of man-made aircraft, I believe. However, it's very odd. It's very odd. It is very odd. It is very odd. It is very peculiar. It is very odd. It is very peculiar, and it is very strange. So yeah, I don't know what to make of it. Normal street view. So that right there is the moon. So like you can see the moon. So you can see the moon. That's the moon. That's the alleyway. That's a street. There's grass. There's my feet. My shoes, my socks, whatnot. Pick it up. There's a sidewalk. There's pavement. There's an AC unit. There's a building. There's the top of the building, and you pick it up overwards. And yeah, there's that right there is the moon, and to the right of it is some sort of UFO. Oh, cool! You can see that one too. There was another one as well. There was another UFO as well. There is another UFO as well. Take a look at it. Yeah, take a look at it. That's another UFO. So over here is the moon. That's the moon. The what the freak? Let me smell it. Right there. Ooh, trippy. So that's the moon, the top of the building, a UFO, and if you zoom upwards, there's another UFO. There are multiple UFOs. Look, multiple UFOs. How about that? That right there is a street light, a telephone pole, whatnot, etc. And yeah, that's another UFO. Let's see how many UFOs there are actually. How many UFOs are there? Come to think of it, I'm kind of curious. I'm very curious. That's one UFO. Yeah, look. There's a car wash station. There's an alleyway, a car wash station, a telephone pole, a street, some grass, a house, a grass lot, and multiple UFOs in the moon. Well, how about that? We are about to hit the 10-minute mark, so I'm gonna start recording soon. But yeah, They're not stars. They're not stars. They're not planets. They're not Venus. I highly doubt it's an alien spaceship. It's got to be some sort of man-made aircraft or aircrafts. So yeah, I just there you go. Once again, there's the moon. That right there. That right there is the moon. That right there is the moon. And multiple aircrafts as well.